we do have a little bit of, you know how I love a little bit of a comparison. You guys know how I love a little bit of a comparison. So we've got a comparison matrix opened up ready regarding the 4 players that Spurs have been linked with in the Premier League. Well, I say the 3 players that we've been linked with to be the alternative to Morgan Gibbs-White. But I've got Morgan Gibbs-White there so we can just see how they all compare. But these have been the 3 alternative players that have been linked in the same positions. All the players that play mainly plays in the 8, plays a 10, but can also play in a forward line. Harvey Elliott, again, plays in the 8, plays a 10, but can play in the forward line. And the same thing for Jacob Ramsey. 8, 10, forward line. They're all very, very similar players. But the one thing I will maintain is Mainu, Elliott, and Ramsey are all of a younger profile to Gibbs-White. So Gibbs-White's probably more proven than the most of them. But let me just catch up with the chat because I missed a lot of the chat today. I feel bad. But it's a long day when D takes off his hat. It is. It definitely is. Shots fired back. Shots are definitely fired. This is the one thing that I'm very disappointed in. Can we get 75 likes? 75 likes is the goal for every single stream. Can we get to 75 likes? We're currently sat on 51, which is crazy. Big up to Drula for being the one to push it. But 51 likes is crazy. We're literally going to end in the next 5 minutes because I do have to head over to Straight Facts. But make sure you are smashing the likes. Help me stream. Got 18 people in the building, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do. Give me a sec. Let's get this comparison matrix, and then let's go through where we're at. Give me a second. We've got... So the games played varies quite a bit. The games played actually varies quite a bit. So it does make it a little bit difficult to evaluate. This is why I've done per 90 because it'd just be easy to do the total stats per 90. Because it can be, it's going to fluctuate. And I think we're going to see different players be thriving at different things. This is the one thing we're going to see. But as you can quite clearly see here, when it comes to goals and assists, Harvey Elliott is the most creative player and chances created. All 3 of those. When it comes to the creative element of the game, due to him picking up the ball in a lot more advanced areas, usually playing in the right wing or in the right hand, left space, all of this half space shit, yeah? Due to him playing over there, you can tend to see him pick up a lot more goals, a lot more assists and a lot more goals in the games that he plays. So overall, finished with 9 goals in the season, and I believe it was like 4 or 5 9 assists, like 4 or 5 goals, but chances created pretty much double what any of the other players are doing with 2.3 per game. So if you're looking at a creative player and a player that we need to help move the ball forward, it looks like Harvey Elliott may be the best of the 3. Durag Delusions, no! Harvey Elliott, yeah, no. I'm not a big fan of him either. People that would have seen my last tweet yesterday, Harvey Elliott is not the solution. I repeat, he's not the solution. But look, we need to get through this comparison matrix real quick. I'm watching on the sidelines and hit the like. I'm sure everyone else can. Big up to Kate. Big up to Jimbo. Big up to Jimbo every single time. Big up to Kate and Jimbo, the duo. Because we're moving on. Because we literally need to get through this. I need to head over to Straight Facts. So we're quickly gonna power through this. We're gonna power through this comparison. Let me zoom in a little piece. I know for some people it's still a bit small. That's a lot better now. So when it comes to the passing side of the game, we can see here passing accuracy, forward passes. Again, Harvey Elliott is the player that makes the most forward passes, sitting at 19 per 90. And you've got Kobbie Mainoo, who's at 11, who's probably the second best one with the passing accuracy at its highest. Now, the one thing to take into consideration here is Kobbie Mainoo. Or to be fair, Kobbie Mainoo has more games than Harvey Elliott, so it's not as less. He's got less games than these two, but his passing percentage maintains consistency. I think the one thing that I really like about Kobbie is his ability to find a pass, but also his actual choice of passing. So the passes that the types of passes that he makes. The only downfall that he's had at Manchester United is he tends to not have the options with the 2-man midfield that they play. It tends to be far too spread out. Whether it's Ugarte who's running away from the ball or Casemiro not presenting as an option, he usually has to play forward, and those forward passes just aren't. They never get pulled off because the players are never in the right positions. So when we move forward 2. Duels contested. It's again, you've got Kobe Mainu leading at the front. He's definitely the more battle, what shall I say, battle tested of the 4 players. He's a player that likes to get into the more duels. He'll get involved in a battle a bit more. He's a bit rough and tough, doesn't mind being in with a, getting in with a challenge, getting a bit dirty, down and dirty. So, yes, Kobe Mainu definitely leads over here. Again, I can't lie. The one consistency we are seeing is Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't lead in much. Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't lead as much. So the one thing you can take from that is we are potentially looking at replacements that could be better than Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, albeit, I think all 3 of these need a club where they can actually focus on one position. They've all been too versatile for their own good. Jacob Ramsey's played too many positions, so has Harvey Elliott, so has Kobe Mainu. That has been a problem that they have had in their career. But under a manager who's just going to nail them down in one position, I think that's where they can start to really see some success. Now, this is where Jacob Ramsey starts to take the heed on the other players. Take-on percentage, ground duel success percentage. With the take-ons, Jacob Ramsey is really good at picking up the ball in those wider areas. He can run at players, take a shot, but his numbers are really low. So it's tough because I actually really like Jacob Ramsey, but he doesn't get a lot of assists, doesn't get a lot of chance created, doesn't get a lot of goals. But all-round play, he's actually a really good player. If you're going to sign him for 35 or 40 million, it'd be a great signing. But I think Aston Villa are trying to command a bit too much from him. And plus, they might try to bring us in with a bidding war because I have actually seen clubs like Nottingham Forest and a few others interested in him. Ground duel success percentage also higher than that of the other 4 players, but also he does get more. He gets the least amount of yellow cards. So as much as his ground duel success percentage is the highest, simply reflects in his yellow cards as well because he doesn't get as many as the other players. Now with the ball recoveries, he's also really high at 4.6, which is a very good number. Shows that he likes to get involved in the defensive side of the game, but Kobe Mainu just about leads there. And then you have possession loss, Jacob Ramsey, the player that gives away the ball the least amount of times between the 4. But Harvey Elliott does lead with the touches in the opposing box. Like we said, he played a lot of his minutes out on the wing last season. So overall, I think it's fair to say that either Harvey Elliott or Jacob Ramsey are the best on this comparison matrix. There was a few other players that we did look at we have looked at them previously, but I looked at them again just on Data MB, just because I thought, you know what, it's worth looking at these other 2 players because they've not been picked up in this window as of yet. And they're 2 class players that we could do in this position in Angelo Stiller and I forgot his first name, but Ogume. Ogume was recommended to me by Mr. Udang. Shout out the scout himself, yeah. Another really, really good player. You'll overpay for Elliott and add that to the Isaac fund. Yeah, we're not going to pay 70 million for Isaac. Elliott is, this is the thing that ends. You're not getting 70 mil for him. You'd be lucky to get 40 mil for him. 35 even. Like Elliott, you're not getting 50 mil plus. You're not getting 50 mil plus for Elliott. It just won't happen. It just won't happen. But guys, look, I do need to go. So look, you guys can look at this. You can see it, Stiller, blue, Ogume, red. Which one do you want? Which player would you prefer? It all depends on the type of midfielder you want. Angelo Stiller probably suits more for what Spurs need in this team right now. But Ogume could also suit because we need a more defensive side midfielder. So who knows? Who knows? We are going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But for the meantime, make sure you smash a like on the video. We're on 64 likes. Can we get 10 likes while I'm wrapping up?